Last time I promised you 4 new shows coming from Crunchyroll, and I'm not going to disappoint. Although one of them's more of a sequel than a new show, all 4 are definitely airing over at Crunchyroll. But are they any good? I'm pretty confident about one of them. One's got me a bit worried, the other 2, not too sure. So let's have a look at them, shall we? Let me know what you think in the comments about these shows. Let me know about any shows that I've skipped. If I've not looked at a show yet and it's aired, I'll probably skipped it. Because this is a 2021 spring anime preview from a different perspective. First up today, we have 7 Nights Revolution, Hero Successor. And boy does this look like a mobile phone game adaptation into an anime. Probably because it is, but we're introduced to our main 2 characters, or 2 of our main characters. We've got Faria and Ellen. A knight and her page, it looks like, travelling across the country on a steam train, trying to save villages from demonic beasts which are coming in and attacking them all. We don't know, we're not given any description as to why they're doing that, or who they are, or what these beasts are, and why they're attacking the villages. We just give them a premise of girls going on train to kill demons. One of the girls has got a big weapon, no chuckling in the back row there, and she's got the ability to power herself up using it, and taking on the spirit of a goddess which resides in the weapon. Again, we're not fully told exactly what's going on here in terms of how the powers work. I imagine if you buy enough currency, you can extend your characters to be more powerful and get more gacha stuff out of it. But one of the people they end up saving is a kid called Nemo, or Nemo as I call him. And he's another kid who is quite clearly from their school, or going to their school. Turns out he's a new recruit travelling to their school to be trained in the ways of a knight as well. But of course they end up fighting this giant demonic beast which is too powerful for them to all defeat themselves. And somehow Nemo finally learns he has powers. He gets spoken to in a weird mystical world where he earns his super anime powers of being the protagonist. He gets his 5-star servant and includes it into his body, and yeah, the rest is history. Now, if you think this is very samey, you're probably right. You've probably seen this anime before in different guises, different names. There's nothing original here in 7 Nights Revolution. Characters are cute, I mean, I'll grant them that. Faria in particular is pretty nice. But that's all it's got going for it, cute characters. And cute characters are a dime a dozen in mobile gacha games. Or in some mobile gacha games, a dime doesn't even get you a dozen. A dime probably gets you less than 1. Because the games are about making you spending money. And a dime a dozen is not very expensive. If you are interested in watching 7 Nights Revolution, you can find it airing over at Crunchyroll. Let's Make a Mug 2. It's a short anime. Well, it's a half-length anime with a half-length live-action segment afterwards. I've not watched a live-action segment. I might do that if I get more interested in it. But I'm only reviewing the anime section of the episode for now. Now, our main character, Himeno, is moving to a countryside, and as we learn later on in the episode, she moves there because her dad lost a job recently. His company he was working for went bankrupt, and so they decided to move back to a countryside, back to where they grew up, basically, back to where he met her mother, who passed away when she was 4. Now, he decides he wants to open up a cafe. Why a cafe, I have no idea. But we learn that he's got lots of cups of different shapes and sizes. It's what's going to make his cafe unique. Those cups are actually made by Himeno's mother, who turns out she's a famous potter. So famous so that one of the other characters we meet, Mika, who is a pottery girl. Let me get that. Actually, I think I was right first. She's pottery. She's a bit crazy, a bit wild, but she's a huge pottery fan. She likes the pottery club. There's a pottery club in this school because why wouldn't there be? And it's apparently where Himeno's mom first learned to make pots and cups. And it's going to be about Himeno finding herself in clay, and also about teaching the viewer how pottery works, because this is very much a hands-on, almost educational, edutainment anime, especially given the fact we've got the live action segments afterwards. And that doesn't make it a bad anime, it's going to make it an interesting one. It's very cute. Himeno in particular is very much a likeable character, but it's not going to be everybody's cup of tea, despite how attractive the cup is. If you are interested in watching Let's Make a Mug 2, you can find it airing over at Crunchyroll. Damn it, Higehiro, you're making me do work. You'll see why at the end. Yeah, Higehiro, after being rejected, I shaved and took in a high school runaway, should be raising a few alarm bells just from the title alone, because our main character Yoshida is a nice guy. He's an office worker who is getting really, really drunk because he got rejected. He went out and took his co-worker to have a drink and a meal, and after having a drink and a meal, he confesses love, only to be told that she's got someone. She's got a boyfriend. I mean, I've got to agree with him. If she's got a boyfriend, why would she let a co-worker wine and dine her? She's just leading him on. Do that stuff with your own, man. Don't get a co-worker to do it for you. And so Yoshida goes out and with a co-worker, another co-worker gets pissed. I got a day off a day after, so it's all good. And he ends up having to walk home on his own, half drunk. And on the way home, he spots something weird at the end of the street. He spots a girl underneath a lamppost on a street corner. It's more of a T-junction, not a proper street corner, but just a girl just sitting there, half asleep, in the road. I mean, what would you do in that situation? Walk up and see, are you okay? Do you need any help? Do you know where you are? What's going on? And the girl says, yeah, run away from home. I'm fine. Thank you very much. And of course, Yoshida, being a nice man, nice guy, he says, look, you can't stay here. Anywhere I can take you. He said, I've got nowhere to go. Come back to my place then. I'll let you sleep at night and you can find your way home the next day. Of course, Sayu's having none of it. She doesn't want to go home. She doesn't run away. We learn later on she's actually ran away from home for over 6 months now. She's very literally the girl on the streets runaway. And she's earned a living by selling a body to whoever finds her in the middle of the night. I'll give you a place to stay, I'll give you my body. Now Yoshida is having none of that. He, even in a drunken stupor, does not want to mess around with a high school girl, because that's what she is. And the way that Sayu comes onto him is very aggressive, you can tell she's done this for 6 months. She knows which of her assets will get people all horny, and I mean, she's got quite large tits, so yeah, she knows exactly which assets to go for. And Yoshida would be lying if he said he wasn't tempted. But he sticks to his guns, says, look, you're a kid, I'm not a paedophile. I'm not sleeping with you. You stay here for a night, go find somewhere else the next day. But of course, Say has nowhere else to go. So one thing leads to another, and Yoshida basically says to her, look, you're a nice kid. Until you find yourself somewhere better to stay, until you go home, you can stay here. Do my housework for me. Cook my meals. Act as my maid, effectively, sort of thing. But I'm not having sex with you. And again, that does sound fine. I mean, there's a question mark over why a businessman should have a high school girl run away living with him, and 2 people living together in that such a small apartment. Obviously, question marks are going to be raised. Not just question marks, huge alarm bells. You can hear the signs down the street. That's probably because that's where we belong, ready to pounce at any moment. Because this anime, whilst at the moment it looks fine, it's playing it close to the line, but so far very much on the correct side of that line. I'm actually interested in watching more of it because Yoshida and Sayu both interest me. I want to know why Sayu ran away from home. What's Yoshida going to do? But there are huge alarm bells, because if it crosses that line, it's going to be a horrible anime. I do not want anything to do with that anime if it does that. Hopefully it's going to keep it on the right side of the line, keep it nice and innocent. For where it's looking, I'm not fully convinced. If you want to take a risk, you can find this one over at Crunchyroll. And finally today, an anime which I need no crib notes for. Because this anime I've been looking forward to for, well, over 10 years now, for over 15 years. Because it's Fruits Basket, the final. It's not just the second season of Fruits Basket we had last year, it's actually the final season of Fruits Basket. Where we finally get the conclusion to a story which was first told in anime form over 15 years ago now. Now, at the end of the last season, we had a huge revelation, which I won't go into for spoiler reasons. And this series launches off with exactly the same scene. It doesn't give any kind of recap, no hint that it's another season, just next episode. And that's fine, because if you are interested in Fruits Basket Final, it means you've seen Fruits Basket and Fruits Basket second season. It means you already know exactly what you're getting into, and so there's a huge spoiler alarm if you haven't seen it before. All our characters are just as fantastic as ever. This first episode in particular focuses a lot on Toru, on Kureno, on Akito, along with on Kyo and Yuki as you expect. But it also shines a light very nicely on Saki Hanajima and Arisa Urasani, her two best friends, who are the most wonderful best friends that Toru could ever have. Saki in particular is beautiful, but so caring, and she loves her friend dearly. If anyone was to hurt Toru, they would never hear the end of it from Saki. In fact, I'm not sure that Saki would let him live, let alone hear the end of it. Now, Fruits Basket Final is definitely an anime which a lot of people are going to know they're going to watch straight away. If you haven't watched Fruits Basket at all, I don't recommend starting here. Go back to the first season of a remake and watch that. If you don't like Fruits Basket, well, you can skip this one nice and easily. If you did watch second season, you're already going to be watching this since you know what you're getting into. You know it's for you. But you can find this one airing over at Crunchyroll, and I believe a dub will be coming later on Funimation. So what did you think of today's shows? I was quite impressed by a few of them, although I'll be honest, I'm still not quite sure what I'm going to make about one, but let me know what you think about it in the comments. And as I always, be sure to like and subscribe, and follow me on Twitch, where you can find daily content of me playing Ring Fit. But until then, thanks for watching, have a wonderful day, bye bye.